Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
Yo, what's good? What's good? Welcome back to another First Cut Live. It's your boy Andresito, Andres, Ace, whatever you want to call me. Here with my crew, my starting lineup, scoring threes again. We're bringing it right back. First of all, I'm gonna introduce my boy, the man with the plan. You gotta hang on every word. He's fly like a bird. It's Mr. Robert Butler III. What is up, dude?
You make the little rhyme, man. I like that. Next Lin-Manuel Miranda right here. I like that. That's clever.
Yeah, and obviously the queen with the championship ring, Miss Sabrina Ramirez. What is up?
Ooh.
Hey, doing well. Love the rhyme. That should be a thing that we incorporate now.
Yeah, like if you pay us $50, I will make a spoken word rhyme about you.
Yep.
How about that?
That's good.
I'm charging for that. There we go. It's the first one. Obviously, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching live, if you're not watching live, either way, we appreciate you guys. First thing right off the bat, I'm going to do it every week, and it might annoy you guys, but I'm going to do it every week just because I feel like it's the right thing to do, and that is justice for Breonna Taylor. Say her name. The cops that killed Breonna Taylor are still free. This is something that I will continue to repeat. First Cut is a platform. First Cut is a channel that promotes social justice, that promotes Black Lives Matter, that promotes justice in communities like Louisville, Kentucky, and that really wants to be outspoken against police brutality that is happening in the U.S. right now. So I'm going to keep saying that. Obviously, I don't want to bring down the mood, but that's something important, and I feel like it should be at the top of everyone's heads. With that out of the way, let's do a little mini quarantine catch-up with the crew. Quarantine weekend, I guess is what we're calling it now. Starting with you, Sabrina, what's new? Life is normal? Life is chill?
Life is pretty chill. I mean, all things considered still. It's same old. Basically just, for Geeks of Color, doing stuff with you guys that I'm really excited about, planning ahead, adding all that. I mean, it's been a good time. I've been reading a lot more. I've been taking some time out to do all of that, catching up on some films, Schmodown, that I've been meaning to see for a while. So yeah, now I have a few more weeks to wait to see if I'm in the tournament. So that gives me some more time to prep. So that's basically just what I've been doing.
Yeah, Schmodown stuff is obviously ramping up with the singles tournament. I'm going to start to ramp up my study again because guess what, guys? I'm walking away with that belt. I'm sorry. Sorry to all the haters out there that really tweet at me and that hate me.
Sorry to Alex Damon. Sorry to Roxy. You're snatching that.
Yeah, I really do feel sorry about Alex Damon because I actually like the guy.
Yeah, we love him.
Everyone else, screw you guys. I'm doing it for myself. But yeah, I'm excited for you to go in the tournament once Dan Murrell wins, I guess.
Dan Murrell wins, that's going to happen, so.
Okay, ooh, already shots fired.
Yeah, Finstock Exchange,
Hey, what about them usual suspects, man?
Well, yeah, Ethan Irwin's great, but come on. It's Dan Murrell.
Yeah, that's true. RB3, how about you, man? How was your weekend or your week?
It's been good, man. I've just been, doing what I do. Been getting a lot of stuff done for a timestamp over this past week. And, I've been saying that a lot lately, of course, but I'm just ready for it to be over. I'm ready for the last bit of it. We did have a rough sound mixing thing get completed real recently. So that is sounding really, really great. Our score is also completed and amazing. I kind of want to play some music here tonight, but I don't know. I don't want to give it away too fast. Maybe another one of these First Cut Lives. I might sneak it in at the beginning. Who knows? But yeah, it was it's been good on that, and obviously SCN, which honestly takes a lot more energy out of my day than you'd probably think. But otherwise it's all good.
Sweet, man. Already we have some super chats in here.
Yeah.
We have Fabrico Rodas, who says, "Congrats, Ace." I'm assuming he means the Star Wars tournament.
Yeah, your match just got uploaded.
The premiere.
Yeah, it just got re-uploaded to YouTube. Yeah.
I think it's so funny, and I'm not throwing shade at you, Fabrico. But people who, I think it was last week, who was like, whoa, you upset Laura Kelly. I cannot believe it. This is crazy. And I'm like, that happened like a month and a half ago. But I guess it's because it gets uploaded to YouTube and some people just refuse to watch it on Twitch.
Yeah.
Which I think is so funny. But yeah, either way, I'm allowed to respond to those now. It was kind of frustrating when I got those when it happened and I couldn't respond to it because of the whole 24-hour non-spoiler thing that
I mean, we broke it a lot though on this show.
Yeah, but on Twitter I respect the hell out of it. Like I actually never tweeted back to some people and I felt so bad.
Well, I have to say that to even my roommate Mackenzie. We were watching and she was so excited one of the times that she tweeted at you and I was like, he can't really respond right now.
Yeah, she did. But I don't care. I appreciate it, Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Larry Lee says, my last live stream before I go back to work, just wanted to say thanks for keeping me sane. Subscribe to TMO Podcast. Hit that like. Yeah. And obviously he follows that up with my Netflix pitch is RB3 Skywalker. There you go. Make a show about you, bro.
There he is. Aiden.
I'm here for my soft-spoken rap from the future Star Wars champion.
Wow,
Yeah.
Larry Lease, thank you so much. Thank you, Larry. Thank you.
Was that Aiden or Larry?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Aiden. That was Aiden actually, yeah.
Aiden.
Wow.
Okay, so
I'm like,
I know. I was like, we're doing this.
No, this is not. Sorry, this is from Impulse. Let me actually turn that off for right now. I didn't mean for it to interrupt us. Actually, in fact, let me play one more because Demonocracy. I do want to shout out Demonocracy. This person donates every single week, even though they're not able to watch live. They still donate at 3 o'clock in the morning. So literally 3 o'clock every Wednesday, I get a notification that we get a Streamlabs from somebody who can't watch live. So let me go ahead and read theirs real quick. Oh, they put a little GIF in there too. That's nice. Or GIF.
My pitch: Netflix should do Masters of the Universe. If you get
They are.
writers, anything can work. I'm looking forward to hearing your pitches. Greetings from Berlin.
Thank you.
Hey, Germany.
Thank you.
Yeah, they are doing it. Oh,
sorry. No. We'll come back to that.
Okay. They are doing Masters of the Universe, actually. This is
and
something
Kevin Smith is behind it.
Yeah, this is something. Tiffany Smith is in it. This is something that's been in the works for a minute. It's an anime Masters of the Universe, and that means it's going to be real violent and real gangster. So prepare for anime Masters of the Universe. And again, people are going to get at me about my interpretation of what anime is. But again, I think it's the same studio that does Castlevania. So again, that's an anime studio. So I consider it anime. Right. But yeah, they are doing that. And that's actually a good one as far as what we're eventually going to pitch. Because we're pitching big IPs later today, guys, for our First Cut Live. We're going to pitch our version of the next Star Wars / Harry Potter for Netflix because the VP of Original Films did an interview with the Hollywood Reporter this week. I'm going to pull up his name right now. His name is Tendo Nagenda, and he confirmed that the thing they're looking for now at Netflix is an original IP or just an IP in general to make as big as a Star Wars or a Harry Potter, something that's 4 quadrant, something that's probably centered around a young character, because that's usually the way to go as far as big IPs and 4 quadrant movies. And that's what we're going to pitch to you guys, our imaginary Netflix CEOs and executives. You guys are the Netflix CEOs, and we are putting on our best, and our best is just me in a jacket. Our Sunday best just to impress you guys, our Netflix CEOs and executives, to greenlight our pitches for the next huge Netflix IP. And we're going to be talking all about that later today. But the first thing I want to do, guys, is talk about the big news that's been going around in the internet right now. And that's Captain Marvel 2 has a new director. And that's Nia DaCosta, which is an enormous news, first of all, because it's Nia DaCosta. who's already directed a movie that hasn't been released. It was going to be released later this year, I believe, pretty soon. Candyman, which is Candyman. That is enormous. Nia DaCosta directing a major MCU follow-up movie. I want to get you guys' quick reaction to this real quick. RB3, what are you thinking right now?
Well, it's huge news. Obviously, I think it's great news. I think having a black female director doing a movie as big as Captain Marvel 2, which they said apparently the focus is going to be diverted a lot more towards Teyonah Parris's character. Exactly. So I think that will be that's what I'm excited for the most. It actually gets me a lot more excited for Candyman too, honestly, because to me that tells me that, you know, somebody at Disney or Marvel watched Candyman, saw the buzz that was around Nia DaCosta's name, and thought, oh, she's good enough to take on one of our biggest projects. So that's really awesome. I do like the two directors who directed Captain Marvel, though, and I thought they added a really nice humanistic sensibility to the character and to the franchise. But I'm excited to see what this direction is going to go in terms of the character as well. So.
Before we go to you, Sabrina, that's going to be my thing because I have to say it every time, but I hate that I have to say it, but I'm the guy. You're looking at the guy who actually really enjoyed the crap out of Captain Marvel. When everyone was hating on it, I was the guy who was like, hey, it's actually a good movie. I enjoyed the crap out of it. I love Brie Larson. I think she was great for the part. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it had fun moments, funny moments. I put it pretty high in my MCU list when we did our MCU ranked way back in the day. So shout out to the first Captain Marvel. But I want to get, obviously, your reaction to Captain Marvel 2 being directed by Nia DaCosta.
Yeah, so I think we're all in agreement. I really, really enjoyed the first Captain Marvel.
Oh, there you go.
I loved so much about it. I honestly haven't really even talked to too many people who disliked it. I think everybody...
Oh, I did.
Everybody who I talked about it with, they definitely either liked it or loved it. So I kind of have a different perspective because I haven't really heard too much criticism besides that, like, you know, minority online that like always yells about females and anything. But this is amazing news because we've talked about Nia DaCosta before and her voice and Jordan Peele backing her for Candyman and choosing her for this role or for that direction. And I really, really love to hear this because, first of all, obviously this is a huge film. This is something that has the potential to be very, very groundbreaking in terms of the MCU if given the right director. And I think she has a really strong and powerful voice, and she's a young Black female director. I mean, that's something that I'm really excited about because I think if they give her the freedom to do something, it could be a really special addition to what MCU has. Because sometimes, as much as I love MCU, sometimes it does feel redundant and it does feel pretty formulaic. By the third act, sometimes I'll just be a little dissatisfied because I'm looking for something new. And I think if they let her really take control of this film, which I hope they do because they're taking a chance having her direct this, I think it can be something really special.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a thing, right? Where we have a director who's obviously very young, but she can make her own stamp on this movie, which is very important. Like you said, Sabrina, because she has this background and has a different perspective. And I think that's incredibly important. I want to give another quick shout out to Brie Larson in general. And I know people are hating her right now because she has a YouTube channel and we're on YouTube right now. I appreciate her because, and I always feel like tweeting this, but I never do just because I feel like it's redundant. The fact that people, and by people I mean insecure white dudes, hate Brie Larson because she said there should be more people of color in film media, which is something that I've been saying since I've been in film media. And by film media, I mean just like schmoes. I've been saying that forever, and I really appreciated that she said that. And to be fair, this was coming from people who were telling her the demographics behind the camera, and in film media is like 90% white dudes. It's like even worse in the film industry. Film media is like all white dudes. And that's why I really appreciated her going out of her way to say that and just take on all the crap that's been coming at her ever since, because she just took it head on and she emphasized it even in her own YouTube channel. I'm not giving her credit for picking Nia DaCosta because I don't feel like that's necessarily her choice, but I do feel like she gave her blessing to it, which I feel is equally as important for a center character like a Captain Marvel. So that's
And
my
it is really interesting because, like I've seen, obviously we haven't seen Candyman yet, but Little Woods was a really, really great film. She directed, I think it was Lily James and Tessa Thompson, and they played like sisters, and it was a beautiful film in the direction. She just made it something unique and made that story something special and really added an intimacy towards it. And I think that's something that would lend itself beautifully to something like Captain Marvel. And it's super interesting because actually just during our Blade the Meaning of episode, Ed Greer brought it up, and then we agreed that Nia DaCosta would be really cool to direct something like a Blade. So because of Ed Greer, we kind of got into that conversation of someone like a Nia DaCosta, someone like a Jordan Peele, going into the MCU and making something special. So hearing this news, I thought that was really interesting and really exciting, especially because we kind of touched upon it a little bit in our Blade Meaning of episode.
Yeah,
That's spot on. Yeah, absolutely. Second bit of news that we're going to hit before we go to our pitches, guys, is the elephant in the room, and this is something that I've been getting a lot of crap for, and I'm going to address that, but I want to go to you guys first to get your genuine reactions to it. Mulan is going to be on Disney Plus September 4th for $30. $30. Just genuine first thoughts, your reaction to this first, and second, are you going to pay those $30? Sabrina.
So I am broke. So that's basically the main thing that's stopping me from paying $30. I think there are a lot of pros and cons to this. I feel like a pro would be if you're in a household, because let's think of the target demographic are children. If you're in a household and you're a family and you have multiple kids, this is a lot cheaper than taking them to go see it in theaters anyways. So this is kind of a no-brainer for kind of families and that type of demographic. But for people like me, I live with one roommate, and it's just kind of a steep price for me to pay. As much as I really want to see it, as much as I'm looking forward to it, it's just a little too steep for just me to like watch it by myself, like sit down and enjoy it, or watch it with my roommate. I think it's a good idea for, like I said before, that first target demographic, but I'm personally, unless I do some kind of like outdoor social distancing projector viewing with like a group of friends, and like we all pitch in a certain amount of money, I could do something like that. But I'm not going to pay just flat rate $30 to watch Mulan, unfortunately, as much as I would like to.
Yeah, that's my thing. Here we go. I wish everyone who tweeted at me, and it was a lot of people, telling me how stupid I am, was watching right now, because I just didn't have the energy to reply on Twitter. I feel like Twitter's so empty, and you end up getting in the same repetitive Twitter beefs over and over again where you're explaining yourself and you try to be as detailed as possible, but it's 140 characters or however much it is now.
It's hard over text to even convey tone and everything.
Yeah, and I wish those people that call me stupid are watching now, because let me address what I said. I said it should be on Disney Plus without a paywall, with no pay fee. And everyone was like, oh, Andres, how could you say that? What about Disney? Poor Disney. They're losing money. Disney needs money. Disney money does money, business. Do you not know how business works, dude? And I'm like, yes, I do know how business works. Absolutely. And no, you don't need to say poor Disney. They're fine. They could take a loss, frankly, if I'm being honest. And number one, here we go. I'm an executive. I work for Disney. I paid all this money for Mulan. It cost $200 million. I want to put it in the big screen. I can't put it in the big screen. Here's my option. I want to increase Disney Plus subscriptions. Disney Plus subscriptions are good right now, and everyone keeps saying they're astronomical. They're not. They're really not. Like, look at Netflix. Look at other ones. Disney Plus is good, not astronomical. You want to increase that? You want to make a substantial dent in the streaming market? Put Mulan on Disney Plus. Promote the crap out of it. Just really, really push it, where you're saying to people, pay $7 a month and you get to see one of the biggest movies of the year on your TV screen. Subscriptions go up. Yes, you might take a loss, but take a look at this. Everyone keeps telling me this is the way to do it. $30, whatever. And yet, everyone I speak to, Sabrina, like you, like family members, like people who love Mulan, are like $30. You see what I'm saying? Like, how much of a loss benefit is this where you're pushing the price so high that the audience you want to reach might not be there versus the audience automatically will be there if you do put it without that paywall, and you will reach a larger audience and you will get more subscriptions. To me, it's a win-win. Yes, you might take a loss, but you're going to take a loss either way with that $30 fee. That's just me. And I feel like people are so blinded by saying they paid so much money for it. Yes, they paid a lot of money for that other silly movie they put on there too with Judi Dench. I forgot what it was called.
Artemis Fowl.
Artemis Fowl.
Yep.
So what? My thing is, this is the kind of stuff, these are the kind of risks that streaming platforms like Netflix are willing to do. They're willing to pay $250 million movies and put it on Netflix, promote the crap out of it, and say, watch this movie. And that's why they have more success than Disney.
Come over to my side, Ace. Come over, man. We love you on the Netflix side. Come on, man. We're here. We'll take you. It's been a long journey, but
with high risk comes high reward. Yeah. Yes, that's a big risk to put the biggest movie of the year. You know, frankly, Mulan is huge, right? This is huge. Mm-hmm. On Disney Plus, that's a risk. But that's a high reward if you're bumping those subscription numbers by the millions, which it probably would. So to me, I feel like my argument is there, and everyone being like, Disney needs to make their money back. How stupid can you be? Poor Disney. First of all, no one needs to feel bad for Disney. They're fine. They got all the money in the world. And frankly, I wish those people were watching now so I could explain myself that this is a business decision that I'm making. I'm saying yes, but this is also a business decision to jump up those subscription numbers, get people to watch it. Don't alienate your audience by putting that $30 paywall. I don't know. RB3.
Well, that's the thing.
Or Sabrina, go for it.
Well, really quick, yeah, that's the thing, is because even if you do get somebody to like subscribe to Disney Plus, if they decide to make that jump, which I feel like more people would, because if you think about $7, you're like, that's not too much. Right. Like $30 is what, like 4 months of Disney Plus? Mm-hmm. If you keep somebody for 4 months like that, and then maybe they keep the subscription going, it does the same. It has the same effect. I just don't really think it's like the smartest decision. I honestly, it's a month away, so I'm really kind of like hesitant to see how this all plays out for them. I'm just wondering if they're going to release those numbers, how accurate they're going to be, if they're maybe going to change that, and just after it maybe isn't as successful as they think it's going to be, maybe they change it to it being on Disney Plus after like another month. I have no idea how that's going to work.
Yeah, and then how are people going to feel after that, right? Where a couple other people tweeted at me and said, "Hey, I'll just wait when they release it for free on Disney Plus," which might be like 2 months later.
It might be 8 months. It might be 6 months later. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was that much longer. But that, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't. Now, I have obviously, I've come on here and I've been a big opponent of the $20 rental. For any kind of movie.
And this is 30.
Yeah, this is 30. Now what's different now what I have heard though is that if you pay the $30, you get to keep Mulan on your Disney Plus like service like for as long as you have Disney Plus. So like that's a little more of a buy than a rent situation, to which to me that's like, okay, I can live with that a little bit more than renting it. But I mean, if you ask anybody, again, I said this on SCN this morning, I talked to my mom about it. She says absolutely not. $30, that's insane. You talk to, even our SCN guy who makes the thumbnails never says a word to us ever. This morning he comes back in the email chat like, I would not pay $29.99 for Mulan. That's just not what's gonna happen. Like, people are just not. People, for one, we're literally entering into the next Great Depression, like right now. Like, we're in the mix of that. Like, there's going to be people who are a little more comfortable. There are going to be people in this movie space who have a little more access to disposable income. And there's people who have to do this for a job. And taking a little $30 loss is worth getting the extra $100 that you're going to get for writing an article about it. So it's like, of course you're going to support it. But, it's tough business. It's a tough game. And for a lot of people, they're not going to be able to access it. And I'm all for accessibility. So that's always going to be on the side that I stand on. So that's why I do support putting it on Disney Plus for free. I do support people. If they wanted to jump those subscription numbers up, that would be astronomical. They would be getting into the Netflix conversations then. And would they be able to sustain? I don't know. They'll be doing that at a precedent of we have to keep maintaining this level of blockbuster going on Disney Plus in order to sustain those kind of numbers. And for that level, on that level, I don't know if they're ready to do that necessarily just yet. Because, you know, the next thing after this will be Black Widow. And if they put Black Widow on Disney Plus, then it'll start to turn into like a slippery slope. So honestly, I'm just ready to see it back in theaters. And people are like, oh, but you're paying $30 on Disney Plus, but when you see it in the movies with 2 people or 3 people, it's like $30, $40, $50. Yes, that's absolutely true, but you're getting a theatrical experience. You're going out for a reason. You're going out to experience it and you know, if we're having an honest conversation about like this live action Mulan, things haven't been like the most positive about like the reception for it. So, you know, it might be one of those situations where the spectacle was the best part of it. So if I'm paying for the not spectacle experience for a mediocre story, I don't know. So it could go a lot of ways, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah, that's my thing, man, is the fact that we're in an economy now where people are struggling to pay rent. We're going to have the biggest eviction rate ever in the history of this country. It's insane what's going to happen to this nation. And y'all want to make people pay $30 for Mulan? Like, let me be Yeah, and let me be fair. To be fair to my family and to be fair to me personally, like personal, Mulan means a lot to me, my brother, my family, my mom. Like, that's my mom's favorite, like one of my mom's favorite Disney movies. We are Mulan stans till the day we die. Yeah. We might end up paying $30.
Yeah. I mean, we're saying all this, but when we get down to the day, it might.
But here's my thing. My thing is, this is coming from the hardcore people who you want to get to see this movie, people who might not have the income available, people who go to the movie theaters to see only Disney movies, 3 movies a year. They go see an MCU movie, they go see a Disney live action, and then they go see a Star Wars or a horror movie. That's it, right? Those people. That's the kind of people you want to target, the people that go to the movie theaters like maybe 3 times a year.
All right.
That's the people you're going for with Mulan, which is a big, broad, humongous movie. That's, if I want to target those people, I'm not going to put a $30 paywall. That's just not good business. I don't care who you are. And everyone keeps coming at me saying, come on, business. And I'm like, I know business, trust me. This is what I do. Box office is my jam, bro. I study this for fun.
Yeah. And people are like, oh, like, this is, you know, this is what people don't understand. This is like the perfect comparison. I think I saw somebody in the chat make this. You know, it's like comparing it to Apple Music. Imagine if you pay $9.99 for Apple Music every month, and then the next time the Beatles or Kendrick Lamar puts out an album, they're gonna be like, oh, here's an extra $30 you have to pay to stream it on top of the $9.99 a month. That'd be crazy. That'd be insane. You wouldn't hear that anywhere else, but it's only in the movie industry where things get so bloated and so over the top and so money hungry that we have to resort to these kind of tactics. So,
well, the fact to me, here's my thing. I like that people are a little bit more, they're aware of the situation as far as Hollywood business. I like that. However, I don't like this weird fandom that starts to become, well, you're dumb if you don't pay the $30 because this is what you would pay anyway.
You're dumb if you don't defend the Disney Corporation. How dare you?
That's kind of the tweets I got, man. Yeah. Trust me. Everyone was like, how dumb can you be? Disney's trying to make their money back. There's people who need... And I'm like, what?
People read one article on Twitter and on the internet like that, and they think they're like businmenn and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, it's like, calm down. Like,
yeah. And it's also like, you're an audience member. And you're like, you be an audience member.
You're the consumer.
Be a consumer. Yeah.
Like,
don't put your business hat on when you're not getting paid by Disney. Like, chill.
Yeah.
You ain't doing anything.
That's true.
They're sitting there defending. And like, honestly, yeah, when it comes down to it, we'll see how this does, and we'll definitely be talking about it on that week's First Cut Live.
Yeah.
We'll talk about all this because you think about, people were talking, you know, we got New Mutants, we got Black Widow, we have a lot of huge films that we missed out on this summer because of COVID. And just seeing where they're placing these films in the future has been like talked about a lot. Like even something like New Mutants still has its release date of August 28th or something like that.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No.
But they aren't changing it sticking with it, and with how many times this release date has already been changed, at this point I would have just kept it an on hold situation and then got back to people when it's an actual set date. Because I mean, I think if they change it again, which they will, it's going to be the fifth or sixth time they've changed it.
Yeah.
It's just at this point it's getting ridiculous.
That's the other one. We talked about it on Geeks of Color. We didn't talk about it here, but we all agreed that the way to do it now for that too. Frankly, we were saying the same argument we're saying for Mulan for New Mutants, and they should just release it on streaming. And even if they have to buy out some HBO contracts, so be it. At least that's what I said. I don't know. I think you guys agreed with that. As far as New Mutants goes. Dwayne Burke in the chat says, Sabrina, you'll get to see it since Kenzie has my Disney Plus and I'm buying it.
Hey,
hey, shout out to Dwayne.
There you go.
All right, so guys, I'll be watching Mulan.
Ooh.
There you go. Uh-oh.
Oh, here we got one from the Amazing Web.
What's up, homies? Catching part of this lib before heading in for the third shift at work.
Ooh.
Thanks so much for your film school episode. It felt like just what I needed. Keep up all the great work.
Thank you.
Heart.
Thank you.
Did he say Ghoul episode?
The film school episode.
Film school.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, did we talk about ghouls? 'Cause I could talk about ghouls.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
I think we have another one, right? Okay, there it is.
It's from Larry Lease.
Great to hear 156 Impulse.
Yes. Hey, thank you, 156 Impulse. If you guys haven't heard, 156 Impulse. His mom is home from the hospital. She's doing great. That's amazing. That's amazing news. That's great to hear. Thank you, Larry, for donating that and shouting that out. Wow, yeah, it's great. Thank you for 156 Impulse for being so awesome for us and being such a big supporter of us.
Absolutely. For sure. Yeah, and again, just to kind of close up this conversation on Mulan, our prediction, and I think it was our prediction. I always say our, and I just say it, and I'm like, yeah, you guys agreed, kind of. But our prediction about what we said about New Mutants when we talked about it for San Diego Comic-Con and for Geeks of Color, shout out to Geeks of Color, we talked about how this is eventually a domino effect of what's going to happen. At least that's what I said, as far as big movies kind of taking a knee and tapping out and being like, you know what, 2020 ain't gonna happen. Let's just release it.
Well, the question is, what do we pay for? What do you pay for Black Widow if that comes out?
Well, that's the problem, right? The problem is you're talking about movies like Black Widow, Mulan, James Bond, Dune. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, these are the biggest movies that they're waiting to the very last second to release in 2020. November and December are the last 2 months that have any dates that are actually stacked back to back. Everything else, as far as August and September and even October, has been canceled or postponed. So now the thing is, what do you do if I'm a major studio? And most major studios, including Disney, even if they're doing it in a way that we kind of don't agree with $30, is saying, you know what? I don't think this movie's ever going to come out unless we release it online or on streaming. So
yeah,
we might see that for Black Widow. We might see that for Bond. I mean, who knows?
I mean, Bond isn't Bond with Sony.
Yeah.
So that is interesting because Sony doesn't have a streaming service currently. So
but they could put it for video on
for
demand.
VOD for sure. But I think what would be more interesting is something like a Universal with Peacock, right? Because Peacock's floundering right now, right?
It is.
And now if they want to do a big pick me up, do they throw a Fast and Furious on there? Do they throw what do they do? I mean, who knows? It's just fascinating to speculate.
Well, the thing about Universal, though, is that they're so steady with their... I mean, they just did the EMC deal. They have all the horror movies that they've released on VOD every other week. I feel like there's a new horror movie every week by Universal. So I think they'll be okay. And they already said April 2021 for Fast 9? I forget.
Yeah,
they
one
moved
got
it
pushed
back.
far immediately. They were smart on that one. They really did, but... That's the thing is, like, some of the films don't need to be pushed. I've been talking about this. I'm going to bring this one up, too. There's been a few releases that have just been completely, like, not even talked about at all, not saying they're on hold. They just had no word about it. And it's basically Green Knight, Promising Young Woman. Those are two of the ones. Green Knight is obviously A24. Promising Young Woman has Carey Mulligan, Bo Burnham.
There's no announcement, right?
Nothing. Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing. And like, but I feel like these two films would do incredible on VOD, and I just wish they would whip these out so we could get some of our content, because I'm really looking forward to both of these films. And I'll
me
pay
too.
for these. Yeah, I'll
me
pay the
too.
premium VOD that's like $20 or whatever. Yeah, like I'll definitely do it for these.
I'm definitely more excited to spend money on a smaller movie, an independent movie, a medium budget movie, than I am to spend money on a big budget blockbuster on that level. So the
reason why, or for most people, RB3, is because of the theater experience. You want to see Tenet on the big screen. You want to see Dune on the big screen. You want to see Mulan and Black Widow on the big screen, and James Bond.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of movies that you want to be like, all right, I'll wait for the theater, versus Promising Young Woman. No shade to Promising Young Woman.
No,
but
I
I'm
agree.
happy with seeing that tomorrow on VOD.
Yeah.
If it came out, I'd be like, oh yeah, hell yeah.
The new Charlie Kaufman movie on Netflix. Like, it's not even
Perfect.
a question to me. I would love to watch that at home. Like, are you kidding me? I prefer to watch that at home than in the theaters, honestly. Like, so there's some movies that you just prefer to watch at home because you get to sit with it, you get to own it a little bit, you get to process it a little bit. For Mulan, that's the thing with Mulan, is just like, I don't think Mulan's that kind of movie. Like, I think for most Disney live action movies, I kind of just watch them once and don't really pick them back up again. Like, and if I'm going to have to do that for Mulan, it's going to be worth the $30. I don't know.
You're not going to go revisit. That's the thing, is like, when we first watched King of Staten Island, I had no issue renting it because I knew for a fact that I was going to watch it multiple times before the rental was over, and I did. I watched it like 3 times within the 48-hour window or whatever I had. And that's one of those things. And that would be the same thing with Promising Young Woman. I'd be like, it's worth it because I want to be able to rewatch something if I really enjoy it. I agree with you. Lion King, I saw once. I went to like the cast and crew premiere because a friend worked on it. And that was it. I never gave it my... Yeah, I
didn't know that.
This was a long time ago. Well, it was before I knew you.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. So I did that. I think it was like a few months before I met you. But I did that and then never saw it again. So I never even gave it any dollars or whatever. And I probably would have never even given it any dollars in the first place if I wasn't invited to that premiere.
Yeah, I mean, my thing though is I'm gonna push back a tiny bit, and just because I'm sure you guys agree, I'm still a purist, and I still love watching tiny movies in theaters because I feel like you get a little bit more out of it in a theater experience, even if it's a tiny independent movie that costs like $4 million, aka Get Out, aka I don't know, Moonlight, movies that I've seen in theaters that I have appreciated that I saw them in theaters versus watching them at home, where no matter what, and I will always say this, there will always be a distraction at home. And I know a lot of people might say in a movie theater too, but maybe not the one I go to. Shout out to ArcLight. But because, hey, I pay that price to make sure that these people will shut up. But either way, my thing is watching those at a theater, I have always had a better experience. And that's why they're always my favorites of the year. Because I did see them in theaters, usually. I still give myself a good cry when I'm alone and I'm watching it in my laptop. So I've done that a few times, but
I just want to give a quick shout out to Ken's. She just sent me this on Instagram. She's watching on the TV.
Hey.
Yeah, so she's watching us live. Yeah, she's right there.
I'm assuming there's an echo.
And then BCD in the chat saying Sabrina also went to the Dr. Sleep premiere. Anybody know that?
Hey.
It's become a running joke because I mention it every so often. Also,
yeah.
RB3 went as well. So RB3 and I both went to the Dr. Sleep premiere.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Yeah. Cool. I think this the time has come to be. I don't know if we have music.
I don't have music, unfortunately.
I know I'm playing. I know RB3.
I'm trying to find. Actually trying
I'm
to
not.
find something. But...
No, bro, you don't have to, bro. I feel bad saying that because it's always like and hosts in other shows. I'm not naming names, but in other shows who are like, "Yo, tech guy, give me a song," and it's like that. You expect the tech guy to just be like, and just play a song on their keyboard or something.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. I won't do that to you, RB3.
But speaking of other shows, though, unfortunately, we will be moving our Fresh Cat live streams.
I should have said that at the top, but I forgot. My bad.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Big announcement. Starting next week, we are back to Thursdays at 6 p.m. First Cut Live. The reason why is because there's other shows that are on Wednesday nights that we want to watch and support, and we want you guys to watch and support. And we are back to Thursdays at 6 p.m. First Cut Live. Make sure you guys tune in. Get ready because it's going to be a hot topic next week. Whatever it is, it's going to be dope. And we got more announcements coming soon, so make sure you guys tune in for that as well. A huge announcement coming soon. Yeah, so make sure you guys tune in next week, Thursday. We have some big stuff coming up, trust me, guys. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Alrighty, let's do it. We are in. Let me make the setting. We've just been led up to these huge offices. A PA comes and greets us, sends us up these elevators. The doors open with this giant Netflix sign that's made of gold. I've never been to the Netflix offices, so I'm assuming. And then we get taken to this room of 12 executives, and by 12 I mean 51 in the chat right now. 51 executives who are currently making decisions on what the next Netflix big IP is going to be as far as movies, right? This is something that, again, I will reiterate, was mentioned by the Netflix VP of Original Films. I'm going to pull up his name again because I forgot his name. And that is Tendo Najanda. He said that Netflix is looking for the next big IP of movies that are 4-quadrant movies. These are the stipulations that I'm making right now. It's a 4-quadrant movie, similar to a Star Wars or a Harry Potter, that Netflix can sell to audiences. And this could be merchandising, toys. Like, think of that. Keep that in mind because that's a big deal too. T-shirts, theme parks, whatever it is you want to bring into the table. This is what Netflix is looking for. This is what the executives are looking for inside this giant boardroom made of LED screens. In your PowerPoint. And now it's 48 in the chat because some people were like, peace. We ain't about that.
We have Aiden saying fam is role-playing on the live stream.
Yeah. There's a guy in the back scowling. There's a couple people who are falling asleep already, and you haven't even started yet.
Intern bringing you water.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you chomp on some chips before you get in, or on some breakfast burrito, because let's face it, that's the way to go, and that's what Netflix offers when you go to Netflix. They just pass out breakfast burritos. The floor is yours. Do we want to do original and existing, or should we do? Because I don't have an original. If I'm being real, I can do 2 existing.
We could do a mixture.
Yeah, let's pitch whatever you want to pitch.
Do we guys want to do 2 pitches?
Oh, hell no.
No?
I don't know about that.
1 pitch is
enough. I didn't know we were doing it by the whole 4-quadrant thing, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I definitely.
That's what the article said.
I mean, I don't know. I definitely had something that was a little more adult oriented. But you know,
but he said Star Wars and Harry Potter.
Well, I guess Netflix is gonna pick up yours then. I guess if that's.
I guess I already won.
Yeah,
you already won this one.
Well,
I'm definitely going
come on,
more
guys. Think studio.
See,
I'm the tweets now. I'm like the tweeter guy, tweeting guys. Like, think about business, guys. Come on, guys. Money. Yeah. Like Unikitty and Lego Movie. Business. Alrighty. Who wants to go first?
Okay. Well,
all right, 3. You're ready. Let's do it.
So this
Netflix executives are waiting. There's 49 now, so one guy just showed up at the last minute.
So this is a little more off the cuff. The other thing that I had was a little more streamlined, but this one I'm going at it from the heart, right? So watch this. Now this is something we've never seen before, right? What's the best selling book of all time? That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
The Bible?
The Bible. So why don't we have Netflix start a Bible cinematic universe? We have individual movies, series, and franchises that are all oriented around specific people in the Bible. We have a Noah miniseries. We have a Moses movie. I think Moses and the Rise to Egypt is a great movie. You can have somebody epic do it, like not a Ridley Scott, obviously, but somebody pretty epic to do it. And you have, obviously you could just tell the whole story of the Bible. I mean, there's so many great stories. Job, obviously, when he gets swallowed by the whale. Samson.
Jonah, you mean?
Jonah, my bad. Well, Jonah with the well, and then Job with the storm and the trials. You got so many different. You got so many different avenues you could go. You can even, and then you got to save the great Jesus Christ. That got to be a trilogy. I don't even want to specify it to a particular. I mean, it could be anybody who does it. I mean, I think a Taika Waititi Jesus trilogy will be amazing. Who knows? I definitely want to see a Black Jesus, though. Definitely want to see that. This Netflix Bible cinematic universe will only represent the true, existence.
Black Jesus.
Yeah, true Black Jesus. True representation of the actual complexion of a lot of these people. So that's my pitch. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the chat.
The chat. Any questions from the executives in the chat? Any questions? Bring them up real quick. Questions in the chat from the executives, any clarifications they need. Already we have Kermit the Pog saying blasphemy. Aaron Brooks says Aronofsky called. Pardis says wow, lol.
Yeah.
Aiden says get the F out of my office. Take your breakfast burrito with you. Well, at least you got the breakfast burrito, bro.
Hey, there you go.
That's worth it, bro.
That's good. That's all you
those
need.
Are good.
Free meal.
Richard Lemon says the atheists have left the chat.
Yeah.
Aiden says Jeff Goldblum is Jesus.
Hey, I won't be mad at that.
PC says Michael B. Jordan is Jesus.
That's it.
That's not it, bro. We don't want no ripped Jesus on the cross, like flexing.
Yeah, face acting all over the place. Yeah.
Oil.
Flexing, baby oil.
Yikes.
Tapping.
They said Zack Snyder's The Station of the Cross. Ooh, Zack Snyder doing a Jesus movie? Who knows?
All right. Pitch me on your David miniseries or your David David franchise. Oh yeah, people love David, man.
Yeah, that's
even like even like people who don't even read the Bible love David.
Well, you gotta have Peter Jackson do it. I mean, come on. The guy did Lord of the Rings, which by the way,
because he's short.
Yeah, I mean, because he did the Hobbits and the Gandalf. You know what I mean? So he had a good size representation there. So, I mean, I think that's really the way you got to go with that pitch. And then
wow.
And then plus, I mean, listen, man. I mean, who knows? I mean, that could be. It could be again. This is Netflix. It doesn't have to be one movie. It could be multiple movies, series. We can even have some interactive games like Choose Your Own Adventures, like Black Mirror, Bandersnatch. You know what I mean? Like, and it could tell you if you're holy or if you're going down under. So who knows, man? I mean, I think this could really be it. This could really be
all right. Another executive question for myself as a pretend executive. The elephant in the room.
Yes.
And let's get real now.
Yes.
What about people who don't read the Bible, who don't care about the Bible, and who don't know about the Bible?
Well,
pitch Sabrina.
Why?
Not a Bible.
Why should I watch this?
Like us, RB3, in my religious studies background.
Guess what? Guess what's the most important thing we're anchoring here on? And guess what? Who's doing the Jesus series? Somebody who has done movies in Hollywood that a lot of people doubted throughout the years. A lot of people didn't know was going to happen. And like I've said before on this podcast or on this show, there's only one JC in Hollywood, and his name is not Jesus Christ. It's James Cameron. Guess what? James Cameron is directing the trilogy of Jesus Christ movies, and it's going to be epic. It's going to be like Titanic level. Who cared about the Titanic before it sank? Just 100 years before it, or 80 years before it sank, and nobody cared. Guess what? He brought it back to existence. He brought it back to prominence. He brought it back to life, and he made it the biggest movie of all time. Who cared about blue aliens? Who cared about 3D? So I mean, yeah, I think having somebody like a James Cameron.
You're saying Jesus is going to be in 3D?
Oh man, it's going to be 3D IMAX from your home screen and Netflix. That's what it's going to be, and it's going to be PG-13 because it's never going to be R-rated. So.
Wow.
And it's not going to be that anti-Semitic nonsense that Mel Gibson was putting out there too. No, it'll be a good movie. Good movie.
Aiden says RB3 on Peter Jackson. He had good size representation. That's the quote. Yo, he had a good size representation.
Hey, I mean, that's all it takes. Honestly, that's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Oh my God. Brandon Hanna says, I didn't read the Bible, so I won't be spoiled on what happens. Yo, for people who hadn't read it, you could introduce it, right?
Yeah.
That could give somebody a reason to check out the source material. I mean, if they're not familiar with the Bible.
There you go.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
To get people into churches, bro.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
I'll
all
stick to
Netflix
my
propaganda.
Twilight.
Yeah, it's just
No,
like how
I'll-
the Last Dance got people back into the Bulls. This is gonna get people back into the Bible. See, there it is.
There you go, bro. You're saving souls one soul at a time,
There
man.
it is. There it is. That's my
Brandon
Netflix pitch.
Hanna.
Damn, bro.
He's saying I'm sold, but one of the movies in the Jesus trilogy needs to be a romantic comedy.
Oh yeah, for sure. We can have Richard Linklater.
Oh, Esther.
Oh,
Esther.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's got to be Esther, bro.
Yeah. See, that's the
Yeah.
thing. There's so many different. You could do spin-offs. You could do
Esther and
Yeah.
Xerxes of romantic comedy. Oh, come on.
You could do documentaries. You could do series. You could go so many
right.
different directions.
All right,
Emmys,
all right.
Oscars, Grammys. Why not have some gospel music in there? Why don't we just switch things up? It ain't got to be all that old school, hokey dokey, angelic, angels and all that. Like, nah, it could be
Yeah.
some sisters. You know what I mean? Some soul. Let's just spice it up a little
Yeah.
bit. Like the Greeks, like the people in Hercules. You know what I mean?
You had me at Black Jesus. I'm
Yeah.
in. Sabrina, do you want to go next or do you want me to go next? And by the way, guys, send your super chats to vote for your favorite, and also send your super chats to or in Streamlabs to pitch your own version.
Yes, Streamlabs. And if you do it over the $10 donation, it will be read out loud. And that'll be nice for us, because the more support we're able to get from y'all, the better. So,
Sabrina, do you want to go next or you want me to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. I don't know how to follow all of that up, because honestly, that hit me in a different way. That was that transcending thing that I thought this episode was gonna be. That was absolutely incredible, RB3. You did
To
a
be
great
fair,
job.
RB3, didn't the History Channel already do this?
I don't know if they did. I don't want to see. Now I watch the History Channel, but Netflix is a much bigger platform than the History Channel.
True,
for sure.
true.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
All right, so I made an original idea.
Okay.
I decided to call it the Shadow Sirens. So
Ooh.
with my idea, I was really inspired by some of the femme fatales I've seen on. So that includes Jennifer Check from Jennifer's Body, Catwoman in Batman Returns. Also, even something like a Rosalie in Twilight with her backstory and kind of all the darkness that surrounds her backstory and her transformation to a vampire. I've always kind of loved seeing women really come into their own on screen. It is unfortunate that a lot of the times when this happens, what precedes it is them being done wrong, whether it's them being killed or them being harmed in a certain way, and then transforming. So I decided to place this in a futuristic dystopian type of world where we kind of have an exaggerated patriarchal society, even worse than kind of the one we currently live in, like definitely far more dramatic. Something along the lines of like A Handmaid's Tale or something like that, where women just aren't treated as equal and they aren't seen as equal. And I want to create a badass team of women anti-heroes. This is what I want to see on screen. I don't want to see this DCEU. I don't want to see the MCU. I want to see something that's full, unhinged, absolutely bonkers. So this is not really family friendly. I'm thinking of something like a Jennifer's Body type of tone. So I want Jennifer Kent to take this in a certain direction and kind of, from the Babadook, from Nightingale, things like that. I want her to kind of helm a lot of this, but I would love for people like Karen Kusama or directors like the film Raw, the director of the movie Raw. I would love women directors like that to kind of come in and helm these series of films where we start off doing a trilogy focusing on this ragtag team of anti-heroes. So basically what happens to them in the story, the backstory of what I'm thinking is that any woman that gets like wronged by a man, basically, it just so happens without the man actually knowing this, but they decide to resurrect and then they become immortal beings that are insatiable for bad men's blood. So hear me out. Sirens in mythology obviously are like dangerous creatures that men. And if we look into mythology, there's a lot of different stories, and one of them has to do with Persephone getting abducted by Hades, and then another Greek god gives a group of sirens wings to find her. So because she goes missing, they get wings and they get special powers, and they're able to find her and her. So that's what I'm thinking about this one. When a woman is done wrong, maybe they're on the verge of death, maybe they almost die, or something really tragic happens to them, they kind of fully resurrect. They really just like gain a new life, and then they become just immortal beings that go after men, a la Jennifer's Body, or something along those lines.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that.
Okay. Any questions in the chat from the executives? Any questions that you have, RB3?
No, I mean that sounds very thought out. That sounds very thorough. I like the anti-patriarchy message there. You know what? And I think if we have some big stars behind it, I guess my one question would be who's casting, who's starring, who's leading this team of
who's your leading lady?
Yeah.
It's really tough because in a trilogy like this, you really do have to think about the ensemble. I want to have the most diverse cast. I want to have a mixture of unknowns. I want to have a mixture of faces. My lead doesn't necessarily need to be like a Margot Robbie or someone that's already a huge name. Give me one moment. I really love actress that was in The Old Guard, and obviously she's previously worked with Netflix on The Old Guard, and they're probably continuing with further films. But Kiki Lane, if she has some free time and she's interested in this project, I would love to have her because I love kick ass on screen. So I want to see people like a Kiki Lane. I want to see like a Sonoya Mizuno. I want to see women of all different body types, all different races, ethnicities, every single type of woman possible. I want them all to come together from different backgrounds because they're all treated the same in this society. They are all not treated as equal, and they are all looked down on. So I want to have them all band together and be. I would like kind of a team of like basically unknowns.
Okay.
There you go.
I
Wow.
like that. I like
So
that.
comments in the chat. We have Aiden who says, damn, Sabrina created a whole IP. Better get this
I like that.
CC'd.
I like that. I like that. Absolutely.
Aaron Brooks says, Sabrina, you're a goddamn jam.
Ooh.
Gem.
And we actually have a Streamlabs that wants to ask you a question, Sabrina. So here we go. This from
Sabrina, is your movie based on your real life?
It's what I wish I could do. A man
Ooh.
ever wrongs me, anyone ever talks shit, if I see someone online and they're stepping out of boundaries, this is what I want to do. So yes.
J. Scott for real says Mackenzie Davis.
Yeah.
What else? Vincent Correa is still on the Jesus thing. He says, didn't Netflix already have a Jesus show? I don't know. I don't think so.
There's a lot of out there.
Brandon Hanna says, ooh, Mackenzie Davis. Yeah, Mackenzie Davis. You had me at Mackenzie Davis.
Sonoya
Mizuno is
badass.
that the ailment says Sonoya Mizuno in there as the leader. Here's my okay. I'm gonna be the executive in the back who's scowling. Just with a little story question. So you're telling me, I feel so bad about saying this, Sabrina, but it's literally the first question I thought of. So if the only women who get wrong get those superpowers, if I'm a happy girl, if I'm living my best life, I'm weaker, or I don't have the superpowers, or is there some way where
it's almost like the
it's
women
balanced
that
out?
Mistreated the most are the ones
Okay.
that are kind of almost seeking revenge and then helping other women and preventing them, because it is kind of tough because like you go through life and you don't want to be this, you don't want to take on the mantle of being that's the whole anti-hero aspect of it. They don't want to, they get placed into the position where they have to be an immortal being that seeks out revenge. That's not the ideal life. They get placed into it and they take it and they run with it. So they look out for the women who aren't in the same situations as them. They prevent kind of, first of all, bad stuff from happening to them. And then second of all, them being placed in the same situation where immortal, and they have to kind of, it's almost like a burden of being a hero. We also have to deal with what comes with being a hero, the emotional all of that turmoil. That's why it's going to be something that's dark. It's going to be something that's gritty. It's going to be something that deals with a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Kermit the Pog made a comment that I was going to say as well. To be fair, every woman has been wronged. And that's kind of true. I was going to be like, every woman would have
that
this
makes it more
superpower.
relatable. That makes it more relatable, though. That makes it more relatable.
Definitely. And I mean, when we talk about these characters like Jennifer Check, like Selena Kyle, like people like that, we talk about their strength, the strength they received afterwards, and kind of the way they own their sexuality themselves. They own their power, and they're not afraid to tango with men and to go up against them and whoop their ass. Like that's what I'm kind of looking for, because women obviously have been wronged by men, but I want to have this positive female empowerment type of film, saying that because in real life women are wronged a lot, and we can kind of have this outlet. I don't know, when I read books or when I watch movies and stuff like that, a lot of the time it's to escape, and I want people to see, like, you can look up to these characters and you could be like, I am also strong, I am also powerful, even though this awful thing happened to me, because in real life we aren't going to become immortal and go through things like that. And it's like, even if something awful happens to you, you can be powerful and you can continue on the same way that they did.
Absolutely.
That's great.
I
think
Very
you
well
might have
thought
won.
through. Yeah.
All right. My turn. And I'm going back to my college days with this. So in school, I was always told that I'm really good at intros and winding up, but I'm not good at delivery. But we'll find out. I'm going to make my pitch. Here I am, back in school. When I first read this article, guys, I kept thinking about what Netflix is currently doing now, which is adapting IPs and trying to make them successful. Look at this year. We had The Old Guard, existing graphic novel. We had Cursed, existing graphic novel. And Cursed is actually getting a lot of views. These are kind of IPs that Netflix is currently adapting. Right now, the biggest Netflix IP, original IP, you and I talked about this, RB3, even though you're not listening to me.
I am listening.
I'm talking to you, Mr. Executive,
I'm
and the chat, is Stranger Things, right? Mm-hmm. Stranger Things is the biggest Netflix IP currently right now, and that's a series. We want to do movies at Netflix. I'm Mr. VP of original films, not series. Immediately, as soon as I read this article, I said, wait a minute, I've read this before. Netflix released an article last year where they said they're looking for their next Star Wars / Harry Potter, and they think they found it. And guess what it is? It's the #1 watch show on Netflix these past 3.5 months during quarantine. It's a show that people have rediscovered for the first time, and it's considered to be one of the best shows of all time, and they're making it live action. Avatar: The Last Airbender is the biggest, is already doing it. They're doing this one. They're shooting it already. It's probably already shot, already casted, already shot. I don't want to make Avatar: The Last Airbender into films because the TV team is already doing that for a series, which is fair. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. However, what I do want to do is I'm going to go on your train, Sabrina, and I'm going to center my story on a powerful female character, a woman of color who, in my opinion, has an even bigger arc than Avatar Aang, and that is Avatar Korra. I am making a trilogy, or maybe even 4 movies, of The Legend of Korra live-action movie series. This is a 4-quadrant, PG-13, maybe even PG, but PG-13 to really get the cool powers and the cool action scenes. You can make it into toys, T-shirts. It's a powerful woman of color representation. With it's LGBT representation as well. Because I mean, Korra and Asami, spoilers, but Korra and Asami, another incredible female character. Korra represents a female coming into her own, gaining her powers, learning how to use her powers, and taking back her city, taking back her place in society as the ultimate power, which is the Avatar. This is her fighting against the Mon. This is her fighting against Zahir. This is her fighting against Kuvira, who represents fascism. Anne is also a woman of color. That's the kind of story that I would love to do as a movie, because it has less pressure than Avatar: The Last Airbender. That has way more pressure because people are more precious about Avatar than they are about Korra. Most people scoff at Korra. So for the people that scoff at Korra, I can now reintroduce this to a younger generation of young kids, of people of all ages. I'm talking fourth quadrant, man. Amazing bending power scenes, amazing bending fights, some of the craziest fights you will ever see on the screen, worth every single $250 million budget. This is the kind of movie I want to invest in. And I'm also saying this for the second time, because back when we did Schmoes No Pitches, I don't know if you remember this.
I remember this. I do remember this.
I pitched The Legend of Korra as my movie to pitch for moves as like the next big film, but this is my idea. Legend of Korra. Uh-oh.
No, it's not a message. Not a message.
It's not. I'm done, Mr. Netflix executives. Any questions?
Yeah. So for somebody like me who is not super familiar with this, how do you get people who are unfamiliar with it to watch this particular show or these particular films?
Great question, and great way to segment into my property. I'm an executive, right? I want to get people, like you said, Sabrina, to go back to the source material. Guess what? The entire source material is currently on Netflix. So people are going to be like, what is this Legend of Korra? What is this? Those trailers look amazing. She looks like she's throwing fireballs. She's like freezing people in midair. She's learning airbending. What is airbending? They go back and watch the original series. And on top of that, I'm a Netflix executive. I'm already making this into a TV show. They're going to watch the TV show. So now, you're right. Some people might not know about it. Also, the way to do it is give a quick background setup into the movie. The first movie is all about introduction. Lay the story, create the world building. You have people like Jordan Peele who can world build so easily into one movie. Establish an entire universe, an entire structure. What's cool about The Legend of Korra is if you've never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, you can still get into it. There's a giant statue of Avatar Aang in the middle of Republic City. That's a good way to establish who Aang was without even getting into Aang's story. You could be like, this guy was a legend, and I'm following in his footsteps. That's a way to world build by creating the environment that you're in. And then the first series could be about, you can make it about Amon, who is the first villain of season 1, who wants to take away people's powers, who's very anti-power, anti-bending kind of structure. It's extremely political. You could talk about the police system with the Beifongs. You could talk about the gangs that have sprouted up in Republic City, because with more people who have powers, more people, the crime goes up. And that's when the metal bending cops show up. Metal bending cops? Like, have I said enough?
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, I think you kind of nailed it on the head, man. I think there's a lot of potential in that property. I think there's a lot of good stuff in the property. My question to you now is, although the TV shows are on Netflix, what's also on Netflix is the terrible M. Night Shyamalan movie that a lot of people don't like. How are you going to be able to overcome the stench, the wrench of that movie and be able to make a successful franchise for Netflix?
Creative team, great director at the helm, story focus group, all those three things. And the first thing of all, I didn't say Avatar: The Last Airbender, the movie. I said The Legend of Korra. What that does is that it already wipes off the stench of that movie, RB3, right? Because I'm not trying to remake Avatar. I'm not telling Aang's story. I'm telling Korra's story. Korra is the central character. She is the one that we want to know about. We want to establish her as a character. We don't care about Aang. Aang is cool. You know, if you want to learn about Aang, go watch the TV show. But right here, we're making movies, and we're making it about Korra. So that stench is already wiped off. That's how I avoided it, by making it about her and not about him.
Okay. I see what's going on. I see it.
All right. So I'm gonna add something into this. I just put out on the First Cut TMO Twitter account. I did a poll just so you kind of as well with the Streamlabs and the super chats and everything, just so we could keep track. For 20 minutes, it will be available just because it'll be episode basically.
Yes.
So go vote on the first cut TMO Twitter account. We'll be retweeting it. We'll be doing all of that.
Yes.
So yeah, if you guys have any other questions, you want to ask about our specific pitches, any other things you would like to know before you vote, just feel free to, send in the chat, send in a Streamlabs super chat, all of that. But yes, I do have that poll currently up on the First Cut Twitter account. So
also, Jose Quiroz, just to answer his question, because he's asking me, he says, love the show. Does Ace know that Netflix is already making a live action Avatar: The Last Airbender series? Yes. And I'm going to read the rest of his comment, but to address that, yeah, I addressed that. So what I'm doing is I'm letting the TV group handle Avatar Aang. Zuko, Aang, Katara, Sokka, all them, that's TV. I'm in charge of films. And if I'm making a film, I want to make Korra. I want to make a powerful woman of color, my central figure, my character. I think that's a more powerful statement than reestablishing Avatar Aang. I don't know if you agree with that, RB3, as someone who's seen the show.
I do agree, and I think that's the way you make it more unique, make it more of a 4-quadrant thing. It's not just appealing to boys, it's appealing to young women too, and having a young female heroine, which Netflix has proven that they are looking out for with something like the Old Guard. So I think that all is
women
good.
of color too.
Women of
just
color,
to really,
absolutely.
I'm gonna keep pushing that because I really love that Korra is extremely ethnically ambiguous. She's Asian. She's lives up north. She's part of the Eskimo tribe. That's the kind of inspiration that people are getting when they created Korra.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
It is tough. Aiden was in the chat saying, what's the budget for these? So I don't know if you guys want to go around in order and kind of pitch the budget. So I don't know if you want to start, RB3.
Okay, so
it's got to be high, bro. This
so the budget,
Netflix, bro.
So Cameron.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so for the Jesus trilogy, we spare no expense. It gotta be at least $1 billion budget. You know what I mean? And I mean that's just minimum. You know what I mean? I mean we're creating.
I almost did a spit take.
I mean he can't have any kind of budget on it. Now what I will say, and Netflix obviously can pay for if we make a $400-500 million Jesus trilogy, they can more than afford it. But I think on top of that, listen. There's a lot of smaller movies you can make from this franchise too. Something like a Cain and Abel, that could be a real human drama that could be done by somebody mad indie creative. You can have, like I said, something like a Moses, which I think Moses will be the most interesting one. If I'm being personal, I think Moses will be probably the entrance one. And I think we got a great relationship with somebody like David Fincher, who has done good hits for Netflix, like Mindhunter, like House of Cards. So that's one of the ones I'm gonna go for too.
Yeah, what I'm going to say for my budget, I mean, we're starting off with a trilogy, but I even want to break off into other parts of this dystopian. I feel like there's a lot of world building and a lot to explore within this one. So after the trilogy, I would definitely love to break off into spin-offs series where we maybe follow like one woman who's on her own instead of a team, or people that are in different areas because different parts of the world are affected differently kind of by this dystopian society. Similar to Hunger Games in that way, where it's kind of separated like that, like district situation.
Uh-oh. No, it's not. Nobody's
Oh,
over here.
okay. So for those, I don't want to put a super large budget because I don't feel like it's the most necessary thing in the world. I feel like paying everybody what they deserve, so giving the directors, the female directors that I'm hiring, giving them a really good paycheck on these, but keeping everything to a minimum just because I feel like I want to go by the kind of formula like Deadpool, the first Deadpool had, where, I mean, it only used the budget that it needed to make a great film. I think, what was it, like a $50 million budget for that one? And so less is more, I feel like, in the sense of these grounded, grittier type of action films. And this is definitely going to be like an action with like horror elements, like I said, with the whole Jennifer's body element added to it. So I think 30 to 50 million, somewhere in that range on, where would go per film.
That's great. Yeah.
I like that.
I'm going opposite, man. I'm going high. Give me $150 for my first movie, and then maybe I'll jump higher from there after it's successful. $150 million budget, that's high, but there's movies that Netflix has paid that's higher.
For sure.
Think about the cinematic spectacle of bending all the elements. Think about how powerful Korra is as a waterbender and as a firebender. Two very, very visual powers that can be shown on screen. Think about the gangs crashing up stores in Republic City or robbing banks in Republic City with fire bending, with lightning bending, with water bending, with earth bending, all this kind of stuff that is established inside the cinematic universe. You will have one of the greatest fight scenes, action scenes you will ever see on the big screen if you adapt this. So that's my pitch as far as greenlighting my $150 million for the first movie.
Yeah, I wanna add a little bit more to my Shadow Sirens, just because this is something that I came up with just a few hours ago, and I feel like a lot's coming to me slowly but surely.
Yes.
And what I really did just kind of want to focus is like, what kind of representation do we see on screen when it comes to action, when it comes to horror, when it comes to both of them mixed together? What do we see? Do we see a lot of badass women? Unfortunately, no. We see it sometimes, and when we do, but a lot of the times we're talking like a Jessica Biel in Blade Trinity, or something like that, where it's sexualized and they're not really owning their sexuality. We even see it a lot with like how Wonder Woman was treated in these recent films and all of that kind of stuff. And I just want to see women take all of that back. The action genre is not just for men. The action horror genre, all of that is not just for men. We don't have to cater to men. Jennifer's Body, I'm using this as an example again, just because I feel like this is like one of the saddest stories I've from filmmakers, from Karen Kusama and Diablo Cody, just because they mismarketed that movie so badly because Megan Fox was the lead. They mismarketed it towards men. They're like, men need to see this. When it actually came out with the demographics of who was going to see it in theaters, there was like no women, and that's why it was received really poorly, because the film wasn't made for them.
No interruption.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Wonder Woman. That Jennifer's Body wasn't made for the audience that it was marketed towards, unfortunately. And that was honestly to a lot of its detriment. And we haven't really seen something like that come out in a long time. And I want that. I want those female writers. It sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm talking you, Bombshell from last year. I hated that movie because you can tell that it's telling women-centric story, and it's written by men. There was so much stuff that was completely off-putting. I could not watch that movie. I hated it so much after I finished it. I don't want to see women on screen, badass female empowerment. I don't want to see it directed by men. I don't want to see it written by men. I want to have females in the background of all of this, because that's the type of film that I want to see. I don't want to see hypersexualization of women. I want to see of all different backgrounds, all different races, all different sexualities. I want to see complete diversity and represented on screen, not like it's a huge thing. A lot of the times, if certain stuff is represented, like if they're like, oh, this character's a lesbian, they'll just say it. They're like, this character's a lesbian in all these news stories, and it'll be on tweets and stuff like that. And in the film, it'll be like one throwaway line. And they just put it to pat themselves on the back. I don't want to see that. I loved what they did in The Old Guard with the incorporation of the two characters who were in love. I love that. That's what I want to see from the representation on screen. I don't want it to be a throwaway statement or something that they put in there to pat themselves on the back. I want to see it as something that actually has an impact on the story, impact on the film, and is positive representation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, obviously I want to throw to a comment for you guys kind of going around the table. Talk to me about the merchandising opportunities of these movies. T-shirts, toys, theme parks, whatever you guys want to get into. Tacos, what are we going to sell? Give me some money. Give me some figures.
I mean, we're talking about, Christianity being the biggest religion in the entire world. So it just touches all those different demographics, right? I mean, you get You get some great. What's so funny? So funny. Kanye West is going to go out there and start selling some, Yeezy merch or whatever, Yeezus, whatever. You know what I mean? Let's just give some profit back to. Hey, let's give a little kickback back to the churches too. You know what I mean? Like we could have DVD sales, Blu-ray sales inside the mega churches. You know what I mean? We can have all kinds.
You're losing me.
Hey man, I'm telling you, there's ways you could do it, and there's ways you could be respectful about it too. You ain't gotta put, you ain't gotta sell toy Jesuses or anything like that, but you can merchandise the good word, and you can merchandise and sell to people good messages, good themes, good ideas that are incorporated from these stories. You know what I mean? Like have a little artwork here, something like this, like. Make today a new beginning. Just have something like that, but with a quote from the movie. You know what I mean? And now just run all
you're losing me.
Houses,
you're losing me slowly.
Houses.
All the executives who were on board are like, I think I'm backing out. When you lost me at selling Bibles.
Nah, you're not selling the Bible. Nah, you're not selling Bible. They sell Bibles already. They're selling Bibles already.
You just said sell the good word.
No, I'm talking about sell the messages, sell the good ideas of the Bible, sell all that kind of stuff. So
yeah. I think you lost me at funding mega churches.
All right, you know what?
Little churches too. Little churches.
I love it, RV3. RV3. I love everything about everything that you've said this entire time. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I have Destiny in the chat, going off of what I said earlier and saying different body types. Yes, that is something that I said earlier. That's what I want to see. I want to see all different women. I want to see every single type of person represented 100%. So yes, totally different body types. And when we talk about merchandising and we talk about stuff like that for Shadow Sirens, I feel like the world of cosplaying, and I know this is kind of a touchy subject, but the world of cosplaying is very negative when it comes to different type of people cosplaying as the people. Like I saw a black woman cosplaying as, I think it was like an Avatar character. Sorry, I don't know. But people were coming after her just because she doesn't look like the character, which is the most disappointing thing I've ever read. Even though I'm completely unfamiliar with what it is, I was hurt and taken back when I saw that. And I want this to be a completely positive space. I want to encourage cosplaying. That's why we're having every different type of character. Whatever character you connect with, whichever one you decide to love, go for it. Cosplay. I don't care who you are, what you look like, 100% go for it. So I want to encourage costumes. I want to encourage clothing. I want to encourage all of that, because the clothes that they're going to wear and the clothes that they're going to be representing, it's not going to be anything that's hypersexualized or anything like that. It's going to be stuff that's pretty comfortable, that you can actually believe that they're kicking ass in, not like Bryce Dallas Howard in Jurassic World running around in heels. We ain't going to do that. Sorry. It's going to be comfortable. It's going to fit who the person is. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome. So I think clothing and cosplaying, that's something that I really want to focus on with this, because I think dressing up as badass women encourages that power that's within all of us. And that's just something that I really love. So yes, cosplaying, action figures, the whole lot. When I go to Target, I see an aisle, and you get this growing up when you're a kid. I was a Star Wars fan. I was a Marvel fan when I was a kid. And it's kind of like, these are the boy toys. These are for boys. These aren't for girls. Sorry, it's weird if you buy it. And I don't want that at all. I want friggin' swords. I want axes. I want all that stuff, and I want it catered towards women. Yes, if you're a little girl, you can 100% pick up that sword, be a badass. Probably shouldn't swear because I'm talking about kids. Be a baddie. Do all of that. Embrace that power. Embrace that inner truth. I don't want any of that gatekeeping anymore. That's what I don't want from this type of action film. I don't want any more gatekeeping. This is for everyone if this is what you love.
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything for Korra as well. I mean, what's cool about Korra is that she's 18 years old, she's coming into her own, and she's a flawed, complex character. A lot of people didn't like The Legend of Korra simply because they were like, oh, she's a teenage girl. And a lot of people were frankly very sexist about Korra, and how the fact that she was annoying is the word they kept using when the show was airing live. I don't know if you remember this, RB3. and that's what she's a complex character. She's layered. She's not one note. She has a lot of attitude. She has a lot of sass. That's what makes her Korra. Now merchandising, obviously you got t-shirts, bro. You got t-shirts. But what's cool about the universe of Avatar is that you got your nations, you got your tribes, you got Water Tribe, you got the Fire Nation, you got Earthbending, and you got Airbending. You get to pick what you are. One of the coolest things we did, RB3, when we had our Avatar The Last Airbender episode with Wendy, was to say what bender we are. I already forgot what you said, RB3, but what would you classify yourself?
I mean, I would probably classify myself as like a waterbender or an airbender,
okay.
But a lot of people say I'm an earthbender. I mean, everybody from the outside perspective tells me I'm an earthbender, so I don't know what that means.
I'm an earth sign, so I'm going to say I'm an earthbender.
There you go. There you go. I was going to say, let's classify Sabrina since she doesn't watch it, RB3. Would you say she's an earthbender?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, earthbenders are how would we describe earthbenders? Earthbenders are
Like strong.
strong-willed.
Yeah.
But they have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
What else?
She could also be a waterbender too. I can see Sabrina being a waterbender too.
Waterbenders are kind.
Yeah.
They're selfless. They're
peaceful.
They're peaceful. They have force. Not force healing. They have healing factor.
Yeah.
They can help people heal, but they're also warriors, and they know when to attack at the right time.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of firebender in the chat.
I'm a firebender. That's clear.
Yeah, you're definitely a firebender.
There's no debate. Firebenders are passionate, hot-headed, forward-thinking.
4 minutes left on the poll. For
4 minutes left on the
4
poll.
minutes left on the poll. Be sure to retweet. I just retweeted it. Let's get some votes going on here.
But what's cool about it, to kind of finish my whole spiel about I'm a firebender, is the fact that you get to pick your tribe. It has a cool symbol to it. You can wear it on a t-shirt. People already buy this stuff. All you're doing with this movie is amplifying that. You know, people love this crap. You know, Team Jacob, Team whatever. You know,
that's right.
In Hunger Games, what district are you? What else? Divergent. What I'm a whatever the soldiers are. Cadence. What are they called? Cadmus. I forget.
Something.
I love Divergent, and I can't believe I'm forgetting. But people like this weird association with representing a different side to you in personality tests, and that's kind of what bending is.
Cheating.
Bro,
I'm
what's
gonna call him
happening?
out.
I'm pouring my heart out here about Korra.
All right, now I gotta tweet the same thing.
What's happening?
I just retweeted the poll and said, if you don't vote for my BCU, I'm calling Bible Cinematic Universe. I'm not your friend anymore.
I'm off my Korra train.
No, but I think
Korrasami forever.
It's not fair because I think Ace really like you really like you.
I actually could sell this.
Yeah. I'm just here with this goofy little Bible movie.
Destiny in the chat. This Jesus BS ain't it.
I know she texted me, but you know what? That's the thing. Like, she has a movie idea which I know. I mean, we argue about who got the idea first or whatever. But there's an idea that I think would have been brilliant to pitch. But I don't want to.
Cinema Gorilla says Jesus is gonna win. He always wins.
Yeah, JC and not
He always.
Yeah.
And RB, my sister texted me. She said RB3s is 100% the one. But I voted for you anyways.
God, no love for Korra, man.
Korra's getting love on Twitter, man. Is Twitter getting love on Twitter? Let me see. Let me check. Let me see. But we also have we do have some Streamlabs that came in too, so we could read those while we wait for the poll to end. But people, make sure to vote for the poll. And make sure you Streamlab in your reactions too. And I kind of floated this earlier, but if people want to send in their pitches, like, and have them read out loud during the little thing, yeah,
let's do that.
$10 and up donations. If you have pitches for Netflix films, please be sure to donate and share us your pitches, and we'll be your Netflix executives. The way y'all are our Netflix executives right now for our pitches, we will turn the table to you. So $10 plus donations will be read out loud, and we will talk about your pitches like that. So Let me see.
I still like Shadow Sirens, Sabrina.
I love Shadow Sirens.
I'm not hating.
Yeah, everybody loves Shadow Sirens.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
guys.
Oh, that's Cinema Gorilla donated. They said, "I love us." Thank you. Sinister Alec Miller donated. Thank you again for all your support, Sinister Alec Miller. He donated and said, "What's up, First Cow? I want to say thank you for all you guys do. Y'all been helping me through this tough time. Appreciate you all. Appreciate all of you. Have a great. Give me a fourth." Great ninja war movie from Naruto. Naruto.
Ooh. Yeah, but that has like 1 million episodes.
Yeah, but fourth great ninja war movie. That's what. I guess that's a saga. That's part of Naruto.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could be really good. I could see that definitely. Aaron donated and they said, okay, all were really good pitches, but Sabrina had my favorite so far. What are some of your ideal directors you'd want to have on board? Have you seen the movie Miss 45? Seems like it'd be a perfect inspiration for this universe. So yeah, if there are there any directors on board that, and
give me
Aaron obviously siding with Sabrina on this one. So
give me the girl who just did one of the biggest Netflix movies ever. The Old Guard, Gina Prince Brycewood, woman of color directing a woman of color led film with Cora, a female character centered around a female character, a female director directing it. Bam,
boom,
mic drop.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, I would love to have for a Virgin Mary movie.
Who's directing?
I would love to have Ava DuVernay on board. You know what I mean? She could tell like a really beautiful story there.
What about David? Who's directing David? I'm still keen on David because I feel like that's the biggest one of all.
That could be a big one, man. I mean, that could be a big one. It could be an epic. Again, Peter Jackson, maybe a Denis Villeneuve. Right, because I think those are the big worldly questions versus the little man. It's something we saw in Arrival, so I could see a Denis Villeneuve doing something like that. I could see a Jordan Peele doing one of these movies too. I mean, I could see a lot of spinoffs, all around the board. It could be really, really great. So,
Sabrina, give me a director.
Yeah, like I said, I definitely want Karen Kusama to get another shot at a film like this. I feel like she's really interesting. God, who did I say before and why is it completely escaping my mind? Like, Celine Sciamma, Karen Kusama, the woman who directed Raw. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I want her for sure. Jennifer Kent was the main one. I don't know why her name escaped my mind. Jennifer Kent.
Ooh, do we have one?
It's from AK Torres who says Avatar, Cora all the way. Cora. So yeah, that's another one for Ace Andres.
There we go.
Yeah, we have a lot of good feedback coming in, y'all. But
all right, how's the poll doing?
Poll is over.
It's over.
Clear winner.
It was 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just about to tweet about it.
Well, I told you. I literally said 4 minutes, so there was 4 minutes.
I'll still tweet about it. Whatever. Just put a picture of Cora.
Well, all right. So your votes are in. And I'm going to go in order. I'm going to say RB3's Jesus Cinematic Universe has 21%.
Oh, last place.
Sabrina's Shadow Sirens has 55%. And Andres' Cora has 24%. So I'm the winner.
Dang it. I wanted to win.
Very legitimate winner. I like that.
Alrighty, guys. Any final super chats or super questions or whatever?
Well, I did. Well, so I don't know. We could do like honorable mentions. Like I did have a real pitch that I had prepared, which was a pitch that I gave in film school. That was, and this is not family friendly, and this would have been a terrible idea for a new Star Wars and a new Harry Potter. But it's actually based on a graphic novel, and let me pull up the exact author's name. But this graphic novel called Black Hole, which is written and drawn by Charles Burns, and I thought that could have been it's a sci-fi like horror-ish, thriller-ish kind of a graphic novel that's really popular. It won a lot of awards. It won like a Hugo Prize and all this kind of stuff. And I think it's a really brilliant graphic novel that is adult. It's a little mature. But it's very psychedelic. It takes place in the 70s, so it has like a very like specific kind of nostalgia play that you can kind of go off of there. And I think just the story in and of itself is very like It Follows-esque, like it's very like sexual and very like STD kind of undertone, and I think that could be great. But it's more R-rated. I imagine it being more of like a Game of Thrones level following that it'll get behind it. But it's weird. There's people with tails. There's different creatures. It's nice. It's a good graphic novel. People should check that out. So,
do you have any honorable mentions, Sabrina?
No, I do not.
My honorable mention.
I was kind of.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't have an actual fully fleshed out pitch like RB3's for the honorable mentions, but when I was thinking about this, I also really thought about a spin-off in the Twilight series. So something that kind of focuses on other vampires in the world, because the only vampires we're really introduced to are villains, basically, throughout that entire series. So I want to see situations like other people who are turned into vampires that they're living.
Sabrina's pitch reminded me how much I'd like to see a live-action Gargoyles adaptation. Andy Serkis and Doug Jones would have to be involved, but that's owned by Disney, so I'll go BioShock. Think Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged meets Atlantis with noir and sci-fi.
I can see that.
Yeah, people have always been, hungry for that. I've heard that a million times. People love gargoyles, man.
Yeah.
My little mini pitch, and a little shout out to Dorian Parks right now, just because I literally saw him right before coming on here playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Have you guys heard of this game?
No, I haven't. No.
He's playing the sequel of it right now. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. It's set like 1,000 years in the future, where there's mechanical robot android dinosaurs. And it's like back to ancient times. That could be an incredible movie. And that was kind of like my secondary pitch. So
That's cool.
Shout out to that.
I love that. That's dope.
We got another one.
Just $1. Thank you. Topic. He says, how come you never read my Streamlabs? I saw it pop up on screen. I'm sorry, Toppy. Let me check that.
He's all mad at you.
Yeah, my bad. Let me check to make sure. Let me go back here and see real quick. That's from Mr. Toppy. But yeah. Okay, yeah. That is right. We didn't read. I'm sorry. Toppy the topic. This was back when we were talking about Mulan. Just tuned in to say. Just tuned in. So you might have said this, but have you mentioned yet about how the lead actress in Mulan has been very outspoken in her support for the Hong Kong police brutality, against pro-democratic campaigners and protesters. Film looking like shite anyways. Boycott.
Yeah, well, there's always going to be this issue when it comes to Chinese films and when it comes to Chinese talent, actors. This happened to Fan Bingbing or Bing Fan.
Yes.
I forget her name. But the problem with it's a very complex issue for anyone who doesn't know, right? Because I want to support Asian talent and I want to support people of color, and people of color are Asian, and there's so many Asians around the world that RB3 and I can testify to the fact that there's a lot of Asians in the film industry.
Yes.
And they are incredible talents.
Yeah,
so
beautiful
want beautiful people. We want to support them. But at the same time, we acknowledge that China isn't a free country. It simply isn't. There's they're keeping people in concentration camps out there, huge concentration camps. Since the biggest since the Holocaust. These are enormous. They're persecuting people, re-educating them, and stifling their religion of Islam. Mm-hmm. And we have to be open and mindful of that, while at the same time acknowledging actors and actresses who live in China, who have to say that, and who barely have a public presence on Twitter, where their outspokenness of criticizing Hong Kong and the people of Hong Kong is almost mandated. And that's something that we as a people this is my perspective, right? A lot, you can disagree with me, RB3, and you as well, Sabrina. It's difficult for me to say shame on you for criticizing Hong Kong when it's almost like I live in a country where if I don't do this, I might not see my family again.
Right.
Or my family might not ever see the light of day. It's that serious where it's literally like, hey, tweet this out or bye-bye mommy. And it's as exaggerated as that might sound, that's how China rolls, yo. Like China's gangster like that. They will take off people's heads and they disappear in the middle of nowhere because they're not a free country and the internet is regulated. And these kind of public mandates are kind of mandated. So that's why I will still continue to support Chinese talent regardless of that fact, even though it's a very nuanced, complex conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's tough and it's difficult. But but at the same time, supporting the protesters and the and all those people out there too, because real unfortunate
100%
happening out
as someone who's very open about that. 100%.
Yeah.
So I think it is up to us to say we stand with the people of Hong Kong and everyone in America, even extreme right-wing psychotic Republicans have stood with the people of Hong Kong. Yeah. So this is it's a very easy thing to do, to say, hey, we have to open our eyes to what's happening in China because it is pretty bad.
Right.
But at the same time, not be like racist because frankly, the Trump administration has been openly racist against Chinese people.
Absolutely. We got two more from I'm sorry, we have another one that came in from Toppy the Topic, who said, sorry, haha, not mad. Just wanted to ask about that topic. Nothing but love for First Cut. Always great discussions. Thank you, Toppy. And then also the second half to his previous question about us not reading the Streamlab question. He also asked another question with that. He said, what fast food tie-in special item would you have with your franchise?
Ooh. That's a great question, man.
Damn, that's awesome.
I mean, you got to think big, though, right? I mean, what are you thinking, RB3? I mean, the Bible can cover a lot.
The Bible can cover a lot. I do think, this might, I think this is perfect. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I want to say this one, but it's probably not the best one to say, but you know what? F it. I'm going out on the ledge.
Yeah, we're leaving anyways.
The wine. Hey, listen, Jesus turned water into wine. Why not make a specialized wine that is, just called water? You know what I mean? And just have that be the ultimate tie-in right there. You know what I mean? Like,
Aiden actually beat you to it. He said Jesus wine.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Brandon Hanna says Shadow Sirens exclusive Denny's menu. Kermit the Pog says Olive Garden breadsticks of Jesus.
That's good. Yeah.
That's too good.
What do you got for Shadow Sirens? Shadow Sirens Pizza Hut.
Okay, I was like, what fast food do I like? Then I got really hungry, and then the first thing that came to mind was Domino's, but I'm not gonna do any of that.
That'd be good though. They have a lot of stores.
Yeah.
They do. Domino's is always popping, and honestly, I really like Domino's. But honestly, I could do with a lot over here. Gosh, I'm trying to think like. I mean, if we're talking
Mickey D's Vengeance Against Men.
Have like the ketchup. Everything's like all like it'll be like a specific burger that's for like the Shadow Sirens, like the Sirens.
Hash brown. Well, I don't know. Hash brown harsh effects. I don't know.
Femme fatale, I don't know,
fillet.
all of those.
Yeah, fish
fatale
fish
fillet.
Yeah.
Femme fatale fish fillet.
Yeah, there you go. There you
go.
Hey.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Aiden, I'd probably just. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Aiden came in with another donation. Thank you, Aiden. He says, we stand with the people who stand against hatred. Say her name, Breonna Taylor. Oops, lost the other half of that. Just give me 1 second. But yeah, that's what Aiden was saying. And the rest of his message said, say her name, Breonna Taylor. Great show, guys. Thank you, Aiden. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, Chipotle. Chipotle can have a place if they want some product placement in my film. They could 100% for sure put some Chipotle in there. Just give me like lifelong free Chipotle. I'm happy with it.
Shadow Sirens Cursed Burrito Bowl.
Ooh.
Yeah, Shadow Siren steak bowl. Shadow Siren like sable steak bowls, like dark. All of those types of things. And
Shadow
also
Sirens
alcohol.
Guac. walk.
What's
And
the
then
gore
alcohol. I
tie?
want there to be.
I don't even know, man. I just went straight to Burger King because of the action figures. And because I was a kid and I thought of that, and I was like, yeah, Burger King used to sell toys.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah, give me some burger. Give me some Burger King.
I love it.
Some
I
Whopper, water-bended Whoppers. That sounds awful.
Brandon Hannah said, "Damn the patriarchy, pomegranate parfait only at McDonald's."
Yes. Sabrina, I didn't mean to cut you off. You're gonna say something else.
Oh,
I was also gonna say,
fire.
like,
Oh,
whiskey.
my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like whiskey or something like that. I want to go with
Oh.
like an alcohol, so I'm gonna have to think of like a hard kombucha or something like that.
Fire-bended, chorus fire-bended filet steaks.
Oh, I like that.
Richard Lemon says Netflix pitch would never see the light of day, but gotta go with Digimon. Digimon.
That could be interesting.
It's too bad we're at the end of the episode because Digimon's like one of my all-time favorite animes. All-time favorite. I love Digimon so much, but it's not hard. Well, it is hard to do. It's just a lot of story in there, but I love Digimon.
People want to throw in any last-second pitches, last-second donations, lousy last chance.
Average Joe says Jesus humble pie.
I like that.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quick.
Yeah,
I'll
for
be
sure.
back.
Yeah, for sure. Aiden says someone pitched Danny Phantom. Oh, okay, Danny Phantom.
Yeah, I like Danny Phantom.
Richard Lemon replies to me and says, "Yes, Ace. Yes, Richard. I love Digimon hardcore. I grew up with Digimon instead of Pokemon.
Really?
Back when it was airing around the same time." No Man 204 says, "Love this show. Thank you for this. Love seeing individuals of a different color and kin celebrating what we all love, movies."
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
great.
you so much.
Alrighty, man. I think we're about there. Any final thoughts, RB3? Oh, we have Larry Lease who says RB3 Gollum as the devil.
Oh, yeah, Andy Serkis Gollum. I
Andy
can see
Serkis?
that. I can see
That'd
that.
be
I can
dope.
see that. Let me see. Was there any other donations? Again, last chance people donate. Larry Lease donated earlier and said release the RB3 cut. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That was Nomad coming in with the notification. Let me see. Again, 156 Impos donated and said, big news, my mom home from the hospital. Yes. Again,
Oh, that's great, man.
Congratulations, 156 Impos. Thank you so much. Cinema Gorilla just donated and said, Jesus on crucifix breast sticks. Or breast sticks. Yeah. That's amazing. And then Felicio Rodez again donated $5 and said, congratulations, Ace. Larry Lease, another $5. My last live stream before I go back to work. Yeah. I just want to say thank you for keeping me sane. Guys, subscribe to the Meaning Of podcast. Hit that like. Absolutely. If you please could comment on our Apple iTunes streams for our Apple podcast feed for the Meaning Of podcast. It will really help us grow substantially, which will help us do so many more things. And you guys watching us live, if you're able to watch us live, and if you're not watching us live, just throw us the like button. Literally, the likes help so much. You don't even know. It's been helping our show a lot and is helping a lot of people. So yeah, please hit that like button and keep up with us. That's amazing.
I just want to say it's a beautiful thing. We have more likes than we have people watching, which is like incredible. I absolutely love that. That means everybody's already on that.
Yes.
Like, thank you all. And then
you.
also, we're almost at 3K. I mean, that first cut to 3K, we're almost there. We're like less than 50 away.
Yes.
So let's keep going. Almost at 3K. 5K by the end of the year. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Hey, 25K end of the year.
Ooh.
How about that?
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, maybe.
We can do
Aiden says Al Pacino is God.
it.
No.
Hey. All right. Okay. Hey, now it's Al Pacino here.
I'm gonna make a planet. I'm gonna make Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Earth.
Okay, was that the Big Bang or was that just me clapping? Okay.
Yeah. Danielle Ramirez says, great show as always, y'all. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you so much.
Aiden says, first cut, 3K.
Yes.
Average Joe says, Digimon is better than Pokemon. Agreed. I very much agree. I know, shots fired, but that's my Digimon love right there. Digimon forever, man.
Yeah, that's so tough.
Alrighty, I think this is it. RB3's Al Pacino is my new favorite, is the final comment. Aiden, yeah, it's true. It's great. That was First Cut Live, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that episode. Hopefully you enjoyed our pitches. Let us know in the comments down below, if you're rewatching this, which one was your favorite pitch. Maybe it wasn't Sabrina's. Maybe it was Sabrina's. It's probably Sabrina's.
Yeah.
But either way, guys, let us know in the comments down below which one was your favorite. Make sure you subscribe. Remember, First Cut to 3K is happening, so make sure you are a part of it. You can find me at Squad Leader Race.
You find me at
Sabrina.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No, you go.
Find me at Director RB3.
And me at Sabrina X Monica and Sabrina on Film.
And alrighty, guys, for the First Cut crew, we're peacing out. Peace out, y'all.
This ain't funny, so don't you dare laugh. With the 4/5 divide you in